Sanbonan, welcome again to Relating Relationships, where we are addicted to good conversations. Guys, thank you so much. Wow, I'm once more, I'm on my own again. Yeah, I've been not paying rent, so my wife is like, I'm not coming. But yeah, I'm here. You know, guys, I just want to say thank you to the guys that are watching the channel and those that are commenting, especially with the last episode that we had a whole lot of activities going on there, where we spoke about who do you want to get married to. We spoke about the ideology that people sometimes might have to say, I want to marry somebody like this person, I want to marry somebody like this person, and the reasons behind it. But I think one of the things that we spoke about was defining the roles that people play in your life. So thank you so much for the comments. It has been so eye-opening. We've said it before, guys, we don't know it all, you know. We might be wrong on certain things. But when you guys come through and comment, you're teaching us things that we are not aware of. So I would actually love to go to some comment, but I just want to spend this one specifically on this comment yaga Emma Sopangisa, because this was, for me, was like wow, and it goes back to a background check, and what we said about the background check was knowing somebody's background doesn't necessarily mean that person is a difficult person to live with. It just prepares you to know that, okay, this person has gone through this kind of a background. Then we are able to sit together and say, my background, your background, how are we creating our story within those two backgrounds? Okay, let us read the comment. I'm going to take my glasses off so I can see it properly, okay? The comment, I'm going to read it, says, this is an interesting topic. This takes me to the background check topic. If you've been following us, you'll understand the background check topic that she's mentioning. My comment will give a bit of personal scenario. I was raised as a single mother. I was raised by a single mother who was raised by a widow. And I'm raising my kids as a very single mother in an all-lady household. No uncle, no man figure. My one brother except for my one brother who was just 1 year older than me. Before I had kids, I wanted to get married to someone who would love me, who would appreciate me, explore life with. Someone who would teach me how to be loved by a man, as I never experienced it, and I was open to learn. I was open to learn how to love a man, be submissive, be the neck of the household, and all those marriage content. I got to a relationship and one mistake was done and I got out of it because amadoda Izinja. Of course, that was instilled in me. I never knew the actions to take, not even to try to resolve nor understand the other party, other than ndiphume once. So as I grew, navigating the relationship life, I had to remove the amadoda Izinja syndrome. Live with and accept that my father never taught me how to be loved by a man. My mother never taught me how to love a man. I had to understand what I want from a partner, from a relationship, on my very own perception without referring to anyone else. So guys, this comment for me, actually refers to most of the things that we spoke about. If you've been following us, you realize that this talks about fatherlessness. It talks about the lack of a father figure. Somebody to give you a baton to say this is how things are done. It talks about the lack of intentional fathering. We spoke about all these things. That we need to be intentional in our fathering. it speaks about, I'm trying to remember now, background check, which we went so much into it. And we're still going to go, because every time we look at these things, we realize that background check is key. And like I said to you before, understanding the background of someone just helps you to understand how to treat them, helps them to understand how to treat you. So you can have a very good relationship coming from different backgrounds. They can be the worst of backgrounds, but when you know about them, it helps, right? We spoke about, what else do we spoke about? My wife spoke about, have you been fathered for you to be able to father? Were you given something to give? This comment here tells us that there was nothing given. I didn't have a father to show me how to be loved by loving me. There was no father to show love to her. There is no father to show how a husband must love his wife by the father loving the mother, right? So there was nothing that I was given. Not even my mother could teach me how to love a man, because she was also not given that. The grandmother was also not given that. And we can see, Guti, when we read this, she speaks about something that is so profound. Guti, I grew up with the notion that now amadoda izinja. And I bet you she's got a reason, a valid reason why that notion was true to her. Because amadoda, in their environment, in the background that she comes from, where is Izinja? They didn't do what they were supposed to do. So she learned, and I think I love this, because she also said, I got into a relationship, but because I've got this attitude of non-nonsense towards men, the first mistake that happened, I got out of it. Because I'm not going to allow you uzoba injala again. But I also love the fact that she says she had to unlearn that. But the unlearning thing is very difficult. Unlearning to learn, it's very difficult. If I spent 20 years being taught something and now I must unlearn it and learn something new. And she speaks about it, that I had to unlearn this. I had to move into one relationship to another. And try to learn or bring something that I was never given. But I want to say this. If two people get together with different backgrounds, and a man comes and understands this background, because I'm looking at myself, I'm like, if I knew all these things with the person that I married and I knew this is what they went through, it makes it easier for me to even be tolerant on certain things. So just think about it. If somebody comes with this background check and a guy comes with their own background check, and they're able to sit and look at their background check and say, Mina, I need help here. Mina, I need help here. This is my strength. This is my strength. I know it sounds like now we're talking about a business transaction. We're talking about if you want to build a relationship that ends up into a marriage, you're going to have to do these things. It's either you do them in the beginning, where everything is calm, or you deal with them in the midst of the storm. The wise people build the ship before the storm comes, or build a place of safety before the storm comes. We all know that building something in the midst of a storm can be difficult. I'm asking myself, how many relationships have not survived because the expectation was you expected something that was not there in the first place. And you didn't even verbalize it, because if you verbalize it, then you are able to talk about these things Somebody said to me, talk about uncommunicated expectations. Expectations that are not communicated. But this person says here, I expected to have somebody that will teach me how to love, to be loved by men, explore life with. So I have these expectations. Now, these expectations are coming from what I lacked in my background. So what I lacked in the background, I need you to help me with what I've lacked in my background. Can you help me? Can I help you? My wife, we were sitting in a counseling session, and I think she said it in one of the sessions that we had here, where one of the episodes she says, sometimes people think marriage comes as a fully package that gets delivered by Take-A-Lot or whoever. Delivers it and then you open it and it's perfect. But the truth is, we know that it's work. I know that not everyone wants to get married. I know that part. And somebody was asking me, Guti, Gandhi, you said you're talking about relationship, now you're talking about marriage. And I said to them, the reason for me is the ultimate test of relationships. I've seen it, it has been marriages. Okay, let's talk about relationship now. I got married to my wife almost 18 years ago, over 18 years ago. But I also had to learn that, like we mentioned, I'm marrying into a background. But that background also has people in it. My wife has 3 sisters. I had to learn that those 3 sisters had built a relationship amongst themselves that has worked long before I even got there. So when I got into that relationship, I needed to understand the dynamics of that relationship. And when I understood the dynamics of that relationship, then I was able to use that relationship to work for me. Give you an example, I've spoken about it. When we were getting married, my wife chose an invitation card and she was happy with it. We both agreed that this is an invitation card that we're going to go with. She goes and shows this invitation card to her sisters. And the sisters, they laugh. They laugh at the invitation card. It's like, what kind of an invitation card is this? Then my wife comes back and says, no, we're not going to use this invitation card anymore. Why? We agreed. Why? Izinja, and what changed? I could have fought with her if I didn't understand the background that she comes from. I didn't understand the relationships that are in that background. So when I learned that the 3 of them, they are a circle that influence each other on certain things, then I was able to then realize that, oh, okay, so some of the decisions that I will make, obviously not all of them, some of them, especially at that time, because we were preparing for a wedding, the sisters will be part of it. So what did I do? Is I involved the sisters to be like part of planning. So certain things I will understand, and if I don't understand, I would find out from them. And it's small things, guys. It's small things, like for example, the budget that we had got to a point where we needed to cut certain things. And my first thing was like, let's cut the cake. We don't need a cake for our wedding. But when I understood the background, that you cannot have a wedding, where I come from, you cannot have a wedding without a cake. If you have a wedding without a cake, that's going to be the talk of the town. Yo, we went to this wedding. Oh, what kind of a wedding is that without? And when I understood that background, I knew, okay, then we need to cater for these things. I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. But going back to this comment, is I love the fact that she is open to say, this is my struggle. My struggle comes from the background that I come from. Now, how do I find help? Because help is there, it's available. How do I then find help? The other comment I just want to add on here was, I think it was Pamela. She spoke about a measuring jar, and I've called it the measuring jar effect. And she said something, she says, because we say we want to marry somebody who looks like my father, who behaves like this and this, we're putting people into a measuring jar. And because they are within a measuring jar, they are not able to express their love freely, the way that they want to. Because if it doesn't happen within this confinement of my ideology of how marriage should be, or how we should relate with one another, then automatically it throws them out. We cannot say everything that we want to say to you guys or discuss with you guys in this time frame that we have. This is our life. This channel is an extension of what we do on a daily basis. We do counseling on a daily basis. We do coaching. We do marriage coaching. So with this lady as well, we've reached out to her to say, how can we sit with you and help you and do this coaching? How can we coach you through this? And the funny thing is, she also mentioned that she has a side hustle that she wants us to help with. So we're going to do that as well. This is what we do. We are not only addicted to good conversations, but we have a company called You Date Communications. And our slogan there is mindset shifters. We help people with mindsets, to change the mindset, to say, you know, you can change your mindset. She's changed her mindset from amadoda, Izinja to, can I open myself to be loved? So that's what we do. Thank you once more. This is Desmond Vusumuzi Nkosi, and we are addicted to good conversation here in Relating Relationship. Thank you.